someone asked me in a comment to help with how to keep a manicure, and I am happy to do so. You know, when, you know, Herbert happened, I had to really explore some new ways to do some things. And although Herbert kind of thinks that manicures are overrated, if you know what I mean, he did learn a lot about some alternative ways to throw a pot without getting your fingernails filed off by the wheel head, if you know what I'm talking about. Welcome everybody, thanks for coming. You and me, babe, you and me, babe, there's just nothing else like you. We're ready to go. First things first, I highly recommend centering with your fist. The first couple of times that you try this, you will likely push it off of the wheel head because you have so much more power when centering this way versus using the palms of your hands. So pull back this with this hand, push forward with this hand, and voila. So if you haven't ever done that before, that should be worth the price of admission right there. Then you know, do your regular karate chop or whatever. A lot of times when we center, we put our fingernails down like this and we pull back, and that files off your fingernails. We don't want to do that. So getting that clay up off the wheel head, that is the job of your pinky and a helper hand, right? And this is the helper hand, and pull back to set your floor width. See how nice and clean that is? To drill your hole, this hand is keeping it steady, keeping it from flaring out, right? And that hand right there on that clean, beautiful knuckle is what is drilling that hole down. The first time you do this, you're probably not going to go down far enough. You're going to end up with a floor that's like that thick. After you get used to it for a while, you can keep dropping the floor with that knuckle. But you can always take the thumbs together like this and push down with the pad of the thumb. Mine's good. So I'm going to keep my pinkies right on the back of the pot with the fingernails out, and then I'm going to take my thumbs together and push forward, and I'm squeezing my thumbs to my pinkies. Thumbs to pinky. There we go. To compress the bottom, if your fingernails aren't too long, you can do it the regular way, but you can go back and forth like this with your thumb. Okay? Then I'm going to take this shape, I'm going to roll it back towards me to keep the rim from flaring out like a bowl. So again, thumb to pinky, but we're going to use these 3 fingers on both hands to roll forward and come up slightly. There you go. At this point, I can do a knuckle pull, which not hard, just using this knuckle. Push out on the inside and pull up with that knuckle. But the thing that you may not have experience with is turning your hand over like this. If I turn my hand over like this, I can push in and pull up. This hand is going to push in right here. Push in. This hand is going to pull up. And you're going to get you're going to get that bump that you're used to. But first, we got a lot of clay stuck down here at the bottom. So I'm going to put this pinky here, and this hand is going to help that pinky pull that clay up off the wheel head. Some slip on there. With my outside, this really would do better with a knuckle pull, so we're going to smooth that clay out. I'm just going to smooth that clay out with a knuckle, just to get an even wall thickness, because the wall was really thick down there where I pulled all that clay up off the ground. Don't ever want to start a pull without an even wall thickness. Alright. And then I'm going to push out at the bottom to get my bump. And then I'm going to make sure everything is slippery, which it's not. Okay. And then I'm going to turn, I can hold this sponge in my hand if I want to, but I'm going to turn my hand upside down and pull up. No fingernails involved there at all. Fantastic. Got a little too much water inside, and I have an air bubble in there. That's okay. Push out to get your bump and pull up. Push out to get your bump and pull up. Now I can feel the bottom of my pot, and it does feel like I've got a little extra clay down in there. So I'm going to push that against, I'm holding my hand at an angle though, because fingernails. And I'm going to push that against this hand. And as I do that, I get my bump. Going slower because the wheel's going slower. Did not mean to slow it down further than I did right there. Let's go on the interior. That's close enough to measure. And yeah, it's tall enough for how big it is for a pound of clay. And it needs to come out quite a bit. So we're just gonna shape it now. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is perfect. If I did have fingernail marks, this is the easiest way to get rid of those. And there are some lines inside of this pot that I do want to get rid of anyway. But sometimes that's just, you know, if you got a really smooth exterior pot, I like to keep the lines on the interior because it kind of says, this pot was thrown, and look at how beautiful the exterior is. You can't even tell. What can I say? Okay, one more time with a few more tips. What do you think? Centering with your fist is got its idiosyncrasies, I will admit, but if you're anything like me, it will change your life. So if you're struggling, I put a video in the cards where I figured out how to do this, and I will never go back. Then, of course, you're going to drill your hole with the fist as well. Compress the bottom with your thumbs, or drop your hole a little more if you need to. And this time I'm going to put my thumbs towards my pinkies and roll all in one step. And that gives me that nice even wall thickness, and kind of make sure that the rim is controlled as well. Now, if you have any extra clay down at the bottom of your pot, you want to push that up into the wall of the pot. Even out your wall thickness before you start your first pull, but I kind of did it all in one step here. When you're pulling, push your inside fingers toward the open space above your outside thumb and first finger. Gently push out from the inside, and without pushing in too much, lift up from the outside. There are pulls to get wider, pulls to get taller, and what we call shaping pulls. None of them are actually pulling on the clay. So instead, think of it this way. When you're making a pull to get taller, put your inside hand above your outside hand. When you're making a pull to get wider, put your outside hand above your inside hand. And when you're shaping, your hands can be straight across from each other. But in my case, at least, I try not to pinch. It's generally the pinching that causes the problems for me. Fortunately, most of the troubles that I tend to fall into, I have figured out how to fix. Hopefully, with what I've shown you today, any inadvertent fingernail marks will be easily cleaned up with the lightest touch of a metal rib. Thanks for coming, everybody. If you weren't here to save your manicure, I do certainly hope that you found something else that will help you in your pottery doings. Have a great week. Get this lip back where it needs to be. I'm just gonna make a little point. And it's also going really fast for how tall it is. Got a hard spot in the clay. So my rim isn't even, but you know, nobody's perfect. Okay, Actually have 2 cameras set up today. Aren't you impressed? You should be. You should be impressed. I love it when a plan comes together. Is that just 2? I've only done 2. Oh goodness gracious! If I've only done 2. Superman! No. Ice cream man. The Amazon delivery is the adult form of the ice cream man. Just saying.
You know that I have said many times there is not one way to throw pottery. There are 1,000,001 ways to throw pottery. So take all of this information with a grain of salt and hit that like button. Let me know what you thought. Thanks for coming.